Okay, everyone, now we're going to move to the third presenter, and I would like to invite Mr. Ali Swanda and Mr. Charles Lim and Mr. Lucas to present their work entitled Multi-Score, a threat score framework based on static and dynamic analysis features. So, is Mr. Ali Swanda going to present, or are we going to watch the recorded video?
I'm going to present Pak Hari.
Okay, thank you, Pak Ali. Please, you have 15-minute times to present, and then we will have 5 minutes for question and. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Pak. So, can everyone see my screen now?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you, everyone. Thanks for this opportunity. So, I just actually, so let me introduce first my name. My name is Ali. And this year, I just finished my study in master program in Swiss German University. So actually, this is my research during my study with Pak Charles and Pak Lucas as my supervisor. So the research entitled Multi-Score, a threat score framework based on static and dynamic analysis features. So I would like to discuss about what is the background of this research in introductions, and then what is the research framework or the methodology that we use in this research, and what is the result and the discussions about this research, and finally the conclusion of the research itself. So move to the malware statistic. This is a report by State of Malware in 2019 by Malwarebytes. So as we can see, over 2 years, malware threats are increased by 79% and become more targeted to the business. So based on this statistic, we realized that malware threat becomes huge risk to the company. And as we heard as well, this year, there is a company who got attacked by the malware threats, and actually it's causing a lot of cost to the company. So therefore, we think that this is a serious problem to the organizations. So in the correlation of cyber situational awareness, first, maybe we should take a look on the Ansley situational awareness model. So there are 3 levels here. Level 1, perception of elements in current situations. Level 2, comprehension of current situations. Level 3, projection of future status. So what it means? So first, the company so aware about their surrounding. So they listed what is the, for example, like the attacks or the attacker that always attack them. So they, after they have those elements listed, they learn, they comprehend their situations in level 2. After that, they will gain a knowledge. So ultimately, in level 3, they can predict or they can project the future. For example, if there is a new attack coming to them, they already know how to mitigate it based on their knowledge. So that's why actually malware threat is the foundation of actually one of critical factor in cyber situational awareness. So that's why we would like to propose a framework that measures malware threats based on static and dynamic features. So after that, after we perform this calculation, the score, hopefully the score can facilitate strategic and decision-making process to reinforce or to improve the cyber situational awareness in the organizations. So this is the research framework or methodology during our research. First, we perform the static analysis, and then we also in parallel perform the dynamic analysis. And then after that, we perform threat score calculations using formula. So we define a formula for this. And then we also perform the threat score calculation for dynamic analysis. After that, we combine the static and dynamic analysis-based score. And for each scores, we evaluate that using clustering k-means, and then we validate the result. So we calculate the accuracy of the final threat score. So in details, for static analysis, so for example, we get a file. We don't know whether this is malicious or benign. So we perform static analysis. We extracted the selected features. There are 13 selected features. This will be explained, I think, in the next presentation, because this is also a collaboration research. And then after we extract the selected features, we assign a score. So as we can see, there are 3 assigned score here: benign, suspicious, and malicious. Based on the characteristic of the features, we assign that score. And then using a defined formula, we perform threat score calculation. And finally, we evaluate the result using k-means clustering. And then for the dynamic analysis, we perform dynamic analysis. So we got a file, we put this file and we analyze this using isolated environment. And then we perform threat score calculations. We have same here, assigned score as previous. So this is based on the criteria. So we extracted the API from the dynamic analysis. So based on the API, we split into 2 categories. There are non-malicious API and malicious API. So based on that criteria, and also based on the number of processes that's instantiated by the, for example, by the malware, we assign the score. And then after we perform the threat score calculations, we evaluate the result using k-means clustering. So this is the final threat score. As I mentioned previously, we combine the static and dynamic score in order to get the final threat score. So we assign static and dynamic. For each score, we assign a weighted score here. Actually, we perform empiric studies for this that will be explained later. So after that, we evaluate the final threat score. And for the validation step, we calculate the accuracy. Okay, we jump to the system overview. This is the system overview. So we have a total malware sample 876. So we collected this based on malware trend reports. So we have malware trends reports over 3 years, 2018 from 2018 until 2020. We collected the sample malwares from after we collected the data from the malware trends report, we then collected the data for the malware from the internet. But for the benign sample, actually this is Windows System 32 files. In total, there are 49. So after that, this diagram will explain about how we perform the research or we perform the experiment. So we collected the malware dataset, and then we have 2 separate desktop. This is in cybersecurity lab in SGU. For the static analysis, we use PE Studio Pro. And then for the dynamic analysis, we use KUKO framework. And then after that, after the feature is extracted using these tools, we have the Python script to perform the threat calculations. And then after that, using RapidMiner Studio, we evaluate using k-means. So as I mentioned before, we perform preliminary experiment. Actually, this is the empiric studies. So after we got the static and dynamic scores, we try to assign each scores with a different combination of weighted score. So for example, this is only the sample, 0.3 for static, 0.7 for dynamic, and then after that, we use 0.4 for static and 0.6 for dynamic, and so on. And after that, we put the weighted score, multiply it with the static or dynamic score. We put it in the k-means clustering in RapidMiner. So we found that for the 0.4 and 0.6, the weighted score actually is the best result actually. So that's why we assign 0.4 and 0.6 as the weighted score for the final threat score formula. So this is the result of the static, dynamic, and final threat score. So after we already performed the dynamic analysis and static analysis, and then we calculate the threat score. After that, we put that score into the clustering, so into the machine learning. This is the result that we've got after we put the result, the score into the machine learning. So as we can see in the static, most of the malware samples are classified as suspicious. This is because most of them are packed. Hence, we label it as suspicious. Therefore, people will see this, will questioning this, and they will perform the further observation on this. So that's why in the dynamic analysis, the actual malware behavior actually it's revealed itself, because in dynamic analysis we directly execute the malware. Hence, the malware will reveal it's the actual behavior. That's why most of them are classified as malicious. And then for the final threat score, this is the result. And after that, we validate using the accuracy formula, and we found that the result is 82%. So finally, the conclusion is the malware score can provide a score that can assist management level in decision-making process in order to improve the cyber situational awareness. And then dynamic analysis can help and can also complement the result of static analysis to reveal the actual behavior of the malware. And then finally, for the future works, we consider to incorporate the dynamic analysis in kernel level for further observations. And then, of course, additional explorations on the static and dynamic analysis features. So I think that's all from me. Thank you, Pak.
Thank you very much, Pak Ali, for presenting your work. Okay, so as before, should you have any questions, please feel free to post your questions in the chat room, and I'm going to read it, and we'll ask Pak Ali to respond to that questions. Okay, do we have any questions for Pak Ali? Maybe anyone? Maybe while waiting, I have one question actually, because I think the most important part of your work is to decide the weight for the static and dynamic part, because I think that will be the basis to then decide whether it is the level of the attack itself. May I know how many combination did you try before finally end up with the most reliable weight for the dynamic and the static part?
Okay, Pak. Thank you. I tried several combinations. So for example, like 0.1 for static, and then 0.2 for dynamic. After that, I plus the weighted score with 5, or 0.05. So for example, like after that, static 0.15, and all those combinations I put into the clustering machine learning, and after that based on the result, we choose the best result. And we found that 0.4 for static and 0.6 for dynamic is the best result.
Okay, thank you. We do have one question. This question is from Mr. Pak Adli Wahid. Sorry that I missed the first part, but will this method work on Linux or Unix-based malware? Yeah.
Yes, for the malware. Oh, sorry. This is actually, we conducted the research specifically for the Windows malware.
Okay. So all the samples
yeah,
are for Windows.
Yes, yes, the malware sample as well for the Windows.
Okay. So I think we saw around 870 something malware, and then around 40 or 70, 40 I think, 40 benign, and all of them are based on Windows. So I think that should answer Mr. Adli questions.
Yes.
Thank you. Do we have any other questions for Pak Ali? Maybe while waiting, just a reminder that at the end of the sessions, before we go into break and join the keynote session, we're going to have a photo session. So would like to ask everyone to stay in the sessions until we take photo together. Okay, there's another question from Pak Maula. How will multi-score framework deployed in the case study? Have you tested or deployed it to the real case study? Yeah.
Okay. So basically, multi-score. So for example, we have a file, we receive a file or we got a file. We don't know whether this is malicious or benign. And then using the dynamic and static analysis, we extracted the features. And after that, we calculate the threat score. And based on the threat score itself, it will give insight actually to us who don't know really the technical things of the malware, how the malware works. And then based on the score, we can perform like analysis. So for example, I have malware, I don't know this file, and I got the score, for example, like 80. So then based on this score, hopefully this can give us alert, early alert. Then after that, we can further, I mean, we can take the next action, whether or what we will do for the to mitigate the risk of the based on this score. And then to the real case study, actually, we haven't deployed it into the real case study. So this is the early research for the multi-score.
Okay, thank you, Pak Ali. Another questions from Pak James. I think this will be the last questions, I think. How do you make sure the number of samples that you use is enough? Is there a reference of it? Yeah, do you think 870 something is enough? How can you be sure that it is enough?
Yes. Oh, thank you, Pak James. So actually, the objective of this research is to find the formula, the equation to calculate the threat score.
Are we using Pak Ali or is just me?
To calculate the...
Okay.
Hello? I think I disconnected ya, Pak. Sorry, Pak.
Yeah, okay. So could you please repeat from the beginning.
Okay, Pak. Sorry, Pak.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
I'll repeat. The objective of this research is to find the best formula actually, how we calculate or present a score based on the malware behavior. And yes, for the number of samples, actually, we admit that more samples will be give us the best result. So actually, because this is early experiment, we try to find what is the best formula to calculate the score, and also we perform analysis, and then we also conduct empiric studies for this. That's why some manual activities also done in this research. That's why we don't have fully automate system to receive more samples here. But I think in the future it can be enhanced to receive more samples. Hence, it will better in the future.
Okay, thank you, Pak Ali. I think that should answer Pak James' questions. We do have one more questions from Pak Amin, but due to time limitation, I would like to ask Pak Ali. Maybe you can answer questions from Pak Amin by typing your answers in the chat room. While we will move to the next presenter or the last presenter for this first part of the session. I would like to invite. Okay, before I start, thank you again, Pak Ali, for presenting your work. I think it's very interesting, and wishing you good luck for your future works, and all the best. Thank you.
Thanks, Pak Hari.